Uh-oh, it's official. Okay.
Got it.
It's happening.
Woo! All right. You get to go first.
All right.
Yeah.
Hi, Caitlin.
Hi, Cassie.
Hi, Emily.
Hey guys.
How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
We're doing great.
Good.
All you creepy people out there, we obviously have a third special guest on today.
Yeah. And it's not just the ghost that, sets off my fire alarm or anything. That's exciting.
She is definitely not a ghost.
Her background is blurry though. So I don't know. I mean, that's a little ghostly, I guess.
I know she's more high tech than us, it looks like.
Yeah.
That is literally my son's closet in the background. That is why it's blurred.
I love it.
We need to cover up your closet, your creepy closet back there.
Good luck with that. No, you guys get that in full high def. All right. So, we talked about we're going to give Emily a platform because we want to talk about her podcast. It's one of my faves.
Yes.
Take us away, Emily.
So I am Emily Mays, and I have the podcast Upper Left Corner, which we just talk about PNW true crime. When I say we, I don't mean that. It's just myself. And so I started in January of 2021 after too long in quarantine with my children. I needed an outlet and thought murder was the proper thing to talk about. Yeah. Definitely has helped. And so, yeah. And so I talk about cases in Washington, Oregon, and Idaho. And it's pretty much fact-based, and they're pretty short episodes, anywhere from like 20 minutes. Sometimes I do longer. I think I've done an hour before. And I start every episode with the PNW town profile. And so I talk about the town that the event occurred in. And then I tell the story. And then I end with a wine review of a PNW wine.
Yes, we love that part.
Yes, she does.
Yes.
That's great. Did you pick a wine for today?
I didn't.
I didn't think about that.
I know. I'm in between. I just got home from my kids' soccer game, and then I'm going to football after this. And so I was like, I better not be that mom.
Yeah.
I better.
All right. Yeah. You have responsibilities.
I did get a Starbucks. Yes.
I've got both. I've got my caffeinated swamp water over here and my Yeti tumbler. And then I've got my white wine. It looks considerably less swampy. So.
Yes, it does. Thank goodness. She really does drink swamp water. Like, it's disgusting looking.
You have to put it in a tumbler so that you can't see it. It's so gross. It's I really love it. If they would sponsor us, that'd be really cool. Liquid IV.
Oh yes,
it's like the green tea flavor, and it really legitimately it looks like swamp water, but put it in your mouth hole because it's delicious. Yeah. Trust me. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Well, I talked to Emily, and it sounds like she's actually listened to us before. So
good.
I love you guys. You're so fun. Because I love the PNW aspect of it. And then you guys are so fun and funny and all the things I can't be. And so
oh my gosh, you can be. You will be today.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll try.
You guys, you should have seen her before we started recording. She's wildin'.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Well, no, when I read that, I was like, okay, we're going to have to actively try not to fangirl while we're recording.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
You did a DB Cooper episode, right?
Yes.
I was like,
that's one of my favorites.
That. Oh, it was so good. Yeah. And Caitlin's like, I never want to do DB Cooper. I was like, please. Yours.
That's like, my husband is not into true crime at all, but he loves airplanes. And so that was the one episode that he was like, that was pretty good.
Oh,
nobody got murdered.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh, that was his pick then.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, well, we're going to get right into the tarot. We were doing our very best to try to create a spooky atmosphere, and then the sun came out, and all I have is this purple halo behind me. So,
should we light our candle and set the mood?
Probably. Who's gonna let me have access to fire, though?
Oh, I'm scared. Oh my gosh, her little match set. I can't with you. You're so cute.
You have to be. If you're under 5'6", it's a requirement.
We like to get witchy in here. Do you like the witchy stuff?
I have never been involved. I've never even had a tarot card reading before.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh, this is your first.
I guess that's also why I'm interested in you guys, because that part is interesting to me, because I'm like, I have no idea what you're doing, what you're talking about.
Do we know what we're doing? We don't know.
We're really good at faking it.
Let the cards tell us.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to get these shuffled up.
Let's get started. Given my spooky case vibes to the card. We're using my Nightmare Before Christmas deck, since this is like a Halloween-y episode.
Okay. Cut them cards, girl. You want to flip it this way?
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh.
It
is like kind of a like pumpkin looking pin cushion, sort of.
Oh.
And it was upside down for me too. So that's what we're going to go with, the reverse.
Yeah.
Which we like to do.
Yeah. Well, since now we know that Emily is like a tarot novice, a tarot virgin, one might even say. Do you know that in the reverse they'll mean different things depending on which way you flip the card?
Ooh. No idea.
Okay. All right. See, we're already teaching.
Yes.
We're teaching.
Such a service to the world. Not at all dramatic. Okay, so when reversed, the painful ending indicated by the upright, that's 10 of needles.
Okay.
Upright 10 of needles is stalled. Don't put off the inevitable. Dragging it out will only make this harder. Make a clean break and move on to new, better things. Ooh,
interesting.
Is that a message for our haunt?
I don't know. Let me see this again. Okay, so it says the painful ending indicated by the upright. So should I read the upright?
Yeah, let's read it.
Okay.
I feel like that's good too, because if you haven't done this before and don't know how the different meanings of the cards can change.
Okay, it says 10 of needles indicates something is coming to a painful end. Okay, so that's what that means. Whether it refers to a friendship, relationship, project, or job, you may be left with heavy emotions. Give yourself time to grieve and trust that it is for the best. Fresh beginnings are ahead. So then in the reverse, the painful ending is stalled. Don't put it off.
I know too much, so I'm gonna say too much, but we'll come back to this.
We'll come back to it. Alrighty.
All right, that ends the tarot for the Patreon.
It does. Bye.
Bye.
Cheers.
Oh,
cheers first.
So selfish. Ooh.
All right. So today we are going to be talking about a little place called Candy Cane Park. And it sounds like kind of Christmassy, right? Like candy canes, whatever. But, kind of like Nightmare Before Christmas. You can combine Halloween and Christmas, right?
Yeah.
I think it's fine. It is located at J Avenue and 13th Street in Grande, Oregon, which is about 260 miles east of Portland, for y'all that aren't familiar with our area. Have you ever been to Eastern Oregon?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
My grandparents were from Eastern Oregon, so
nice. Yeah, mine too. Mine are
maybe they knew each other.
I was like, that's fine as long as she doesn't know the case.
Yeah. Have you heard of this case before?
No, not at all.
Oh, yeah. That's my favorite.
Okay.
Well, this park takes up just shy of 2 acres, and it features a small playground, The swing sets are even painted with white and red stripes to resemble candy canes. One of the most controversial of all candies, of course.
I mean, it's right up there with like candy corn for Halloween.
Yeah.
Like people either love it or they hate it.
Barf.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of either, honestly. I don't really like candy canes.
I like candy canes. Candy corn, I don't like.
I like the chocolate mint candy canes.
Yes, those are really good.
No, not a candy cane person.
One, I don't like chocolate either. So yeah.
What about those fruity ones? Ugh, fruity candy.
My kids love those.
Yeah.
Like Sour Patch Kids.
Oh
So
my
gross.
gosh.
Sour Patch are my jam, but I just want the Sour Patch. I don't
Right.
Yeah.
Then you spit it out after when it gets too sweet. So in this park, there is also a basketball court, picnic tables, and benches. Oh, and not to bury the lead, but some truly horrific and spooky stuff happens here. So before I get into the ghost stories, I have a question for you ladies that directly relates to what we're going to be talking about next. What do you guys think is the scariest playground equipment?
Swings, for sure.
Swings? Do you have a reason behind that?
The sounds that they make and the way that they move in the wind, like they can move on their own.
Oh yeah.
But are they moving on their own?
Exactly.
That and like I have 3 kids, and do you know how many times they've wiped each other out while one was swinging and the other ran by?
Oh,
yes,
that's terrifying as a mom.
That's scary.
What about you?
They're not really technically equipment, but I feel like you should know this, that it's actually the children that are the scariest part of the park for me.
That is true. Children are creepy. We've said it bunches of
100%.
times.
Yes.
No.
Oh, 100%. Like my daughter she will wake up in the night and I'll be sleeping and I'll just wake up and her face is right next to mine. And I'm like, ah! And sometimes she'll say things that I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Where'd you get that?
Yeah. Hopefully that was just a weird thing and not like a premonition or something.
Is it the one?
Oh my gosh. Well, the equipment I think is the scariest is the merry-go-round.
Oh,
I've had some crazy like experiences on there where you just like fly off and kids keep spinning you. They won't stop. And you're like, no, please, I'm going to throw up. So that's my nightmare right there, is spinning out of control.
Yes.
But do you realize all of the scary things? The one thing that links all of them together, you guys, in everything we've talked about so far.
The children.
Yes.
Yep. I bet some black-eyed kids go to that park.
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, well, the merry-go-round at this particular park seems to be pretty unruly, almost as if it has a mind of its own, or perhaps something more sinister. Dun, dun, dun. It will spin wildly, almost as it's being like controlled by disembodied hands. There have even been incidents where the merry-go-round was so out of control that people have flown off. Oh, which has happened to me, but it's like, the kids are there spinning it. But apparently this just like does it uncontrollably.
Whoa.
And even more terrifying is the possibility that they were pushed off and not just thrown off by gravity.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's terrifying.
Oh.
No, thank you.
To my knowledge, no one was seriously injured on the merry-go-round, but there were so many of these accounts that they actually decided to remove it in 2003.
Oh.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
That was probably a wise choice.
Yeah. I'm assuming not to just avoid anyone getting hurt, but to avoid some like potential lawsuits. Yeah.
100%.
From what I've read, I don't see any stories where people have seen like an apparition or a figure at the merry-go-round. One reason I think that's interesting is because it seems to be very mean-spirited. If it's like pushing people off the merry-go-round, that's supposed to be like fun theoretically. So I'm thinking maybe it's like the ghost of a former bully potentially.
Oh,
yeah.
Wait, so this is a haunted park, but the park is like haunted by A bully
like
kid?
a bully kid. That's what I'm
Oh.
thinking. That's what it sounds like to me with the merry-go-round. Or, maybe it's like a demonic spirit or simply just a case of merry-go-round possession.
Such a turn.
I know. I like to do that. Another reason I find that interesting that no one has seen like a figure at the merry-go-round is because people do see an apparition at the park. They actually see the apparition of a woman swinging on the swings, which you said were creepy, or sitting on the park benches. And the swings, they're often seen like swaying back and forth, even when it's like not a windy day or anything. They kind of just will sway back and forth like someone is swinging on them.
No.
You're like, no, please. I said I was already
thank you.
Swings.
God. When do we get to talk about murder?
I was just my kids are at the park right now.
Oh my gosh. Well, hopefully it's not a haunted park.
Hopefully not a haunted one.
It's not Candy Cane Park, is it? Okay.
Oh my
So
gosh.
yeah, that makes me think like maybe there is more than one spirit here, since one seems to be kind of just sitting there, not really doing anything. And the other one, it was like very active.
Yeah. Why do there need to be so many spooky things in one park?
What's going on at this park,
Oh my
man?
gosh, what's in the water down
What
there?
happened?
Whoa.
So I go like everywhere to look for stories, like personal stories. So I go in all the comments, I go on like the Google reviews even.
Oh my gosh.
So I went to the Google reviews for this park, and I just had to mention there's a couple really, really funny ones. So Turk McKittrick gave this park 1 star. He said, misleading name, came here for actual candy canes, left sorely disappointed. I'm like, wait, you went to a park for some free candy canes. Like, where did you think these candy canes were coming from?
Oh my god.
Didn't his parents teach him better?
Yeah,
than to
right?
Take candy from strangers.
Don't do it.
I love this. You know how much I love the crazy reviews. I've been listening to
Yes.
Review That Review and Beach Too Sandy, Water Too Wet, like nonstop. Like I'm binging both of these. And all day, every day. I'm like, what did this person think they were?
Yeah. Oh, it gets better. There's another really, really funny one. God. So Paula gives it 5 stars. And she wanted everyone to know that the food was really good and the waitress was exceptional.
What?
Well, I don't know what she was eating and who was serving her, but my bet is the waitress was definitely a ghost, and hopefully her meal wasn't white dog shit.
Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm dying.
I gotta throw in the Step Brothers references whenever I can.
Please.
We just watched that the other night.
Did you?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Chris loves that because I don't shy away from all of the really like kind of gnarly quotes too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We went
All of them.
go-karting with his brothers. And I think that's when I pulled out one and they kind of looked at me like, what did your girlfriend just say? Because there's the part where he like the 2 brothers are talking and he's like, oh, you know what I hear helps with back pain? If you look my butt. Not probably the most ladylike one.
When my kids are having like a complete meltdown, like a really, really like the worst meltdowns, this has happened twice. My husband and I just pull up on YouTube the scene where they're at the dinner table and they're finding out about the divorce and they're freaking out. I'm gonna throw up. Like, this is what you look like right now.
Yeah, I'm sure you have to be careful with what you quote too, and for your kids, man.
Oh,
yes. I
That's
still
so
have
funny. I almost
Dish.
fell off my dinosaur.
We still have Dish so that I can record like when the good movies are on TBS, but they're like bleeped out or like edited to say different things.
Yeah.
So that we can like, we've introduced our kids to Napoleon Dynamite and Step
awesome.
Brothers, and yeah,
You're raising them right.
They're well-rounded children.
Good.
That's parents.
Okay. I feel good about that.
Yeah.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
Well, now on to some of people's personal experiences that I found. So this was a comment on ghostsofamerica.com and it was submitted by Not Given. I hope that's not their real name.
It was probably not their given name.
Yeah.
Not given.
Not given.
Well, it's all capitalized, like
Yeah.
the N and the G.
That's so funny.
So this one says, I was walking my son's black lab in the park around 7 a.m. As we headed back towards my pickup, I thought I heard someone laugh or giggle.
No.
Mm-mm.
As we neared the swing set, one swing began gently swinging a couple of feet each way. That's kind of a lot, a couple of feet each way.
Yeah, that's not the wind.
No. And he says, he goes on to say there was no wind and none of the other swings were moving. So that's definitely a ghost.
Oh,
sure.
I don't like that. I really don't like that.
Oh, it gets worse. Suddenly, the dog started barking furiously at the swing area with his hackles up and all stiff-legged.
Like, that's terrifying.
God.
Yeah.
The dogs always know, man.
They do.
I'm gonna break out in hives. Why did we decide to do video?
The swing stopped moving and the dogs stopped barking. We walked through the swing area, but there was nothing more. So that's interesting too, that it didn't happen
just
again.
stopped?
Yeah, it
don't
just stopped.
What's with these people in like the afterlife though? Like you have nothing better to do because you're not showing yourself or saying anything. You're just like,
Mm-mm.
Well, maybe
watch me mess with this swing. It's gonna be hilarious.
If it was the bully, maybe. But if it was like someone else, like the woman people see, like maybe she's trapped there. I don't know.
Yeah.
So this one is from Anonymous from hauntedplaces.org. Me and my friend were walking across the park at 2 a.m. and we were being followed by someone hiding behind a tree. We felt this insane cold rush down our bodies and we were walking across the grass and we couldn't get closer to any of the sides, almost like we were being stuck in the middle of the park.
No.
Ah,
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
no.
like, was this a ghost hiding behind a tree or was it a person? Like,
I don't like either.
mm-mm.
and why do you feel trapped?
They're both bad.
Yeah.
I got the chills. Ooh. I read these stories. Okay. This is another one from ghostsofamerica.com. And this was commented by Anonymous. Literally ANONAMYS.
Amy.
Amy. I don't know if they spelled it wrong or maybe their name is Amy and they're just like making a pun.
They're clever.
Yeah.
How's the spelling in the rest of the review?
Yes. She gets it.
We'll see as I read it.
Yeah.
So Anonymous says it was nighttime and it was a little hazy. My dad was driving me and my two brothers and my sister back from dinner and it was late. So my sister and my little brother were getting tired. We live on Geckler. I don't know where Geckler is, honestly. I'm assuming it's close. So we went up the road by Candy Cane. The two formerly mentioned siblings were acting up, as kids do. I added that part. So my dad pulled over. I was annoyed, so I looked out my window pouting, and I saw a girl sitting on the bench. She turned around, but right before we were eye to eye, the girl faded.
Ooh, no.
So now we have a kid, right? A bully boy. Or I'm guessing it could be a bully girl.
Yeah,
could be.
It's true.
And a woman, and now this little girl.
Yeah, so I don't know if she does say girl, but I don't know if she meant like a little girl on the bench.
Yeah.
She didn't really specify.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
Why are there so many ghosts?
I don't know.
It's a whole family.
Like a lot.
I don't want to hang out with any of them.
Who wants to take a road trip?
No thanks. Not there.
So I have one last tidbit. Don't let this park's jolly spirited name fool you. Under its sickeningly sweet pepperminty surface lie some very disturbing secrets.
True.
It harbors dark memories for some, as its nickname, Hatchet Park, might allude to. Now, this is where the story you thought was ending, much like the dead villain in a horror movie, makes a surprise comeback.
What?
Caitlin, take it away.
getting haunts and homicides today?
Yes.
Yay!
So for spooky season, we have a very special episode today. We're about halfway through, so this feels like a good time to go ahead and drop that bomb, right? Yeah.
Because you guys couldn't tell this was spooky season.
Yeah.
Did you see my shirt, by the way?
Oh, so cute. It's a jack-o'-lantern. It's got a heart nose.
I know.
Cute. So this special holiday episode happens to involve elements from both of our genres, haunts and homicides. Emily, very astute. She figured it out.
Yeah.
So as per usual, we have a special extra for our glorious Patreon subscribers. It's a video episode. If you're already watching this video, just pretend that I don't sound like a dum-dum. Don't worry, we tried to get fancy for you on this very special occasion. You know, just in case any of you actually like seeing our faces once in a while, you know.
I did my hair.
Get you over to the Patreon. I just think it's funny because we kept not each other in the dark on this one, but we got to keep Emily in the dark on this one.
Yeah.
So you didn't know that it was a haunt and a homicide or what the topic was.
No.
So she's just like, what?
Yes.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So second installment, the intermission is over. I hope you already have your beverage of choice in hand.
And for my listeners, for upper left corner listeners, I listen to haunts and homicides all the time, and they do not typically do this. It's usually one or the other. So that's why I was so excited.
Yeah.
I'm getting both today.
Well, and the special VIP experience. Right?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, oddly enough, this crazy story takes place just days before another holiday.
Ooh.
Yeah. Cassie,
Which
we've
one?
got the candy cane part. Very Christmassy. Your case, spooky. Very
Halloween.
spooky season, Halloweeny.
Weenie.
But we're going to talk about Valentine's Day.
Ooh. I don't know how I feel about that.
No.
You're not going to feel good about it. I can tell you that much.
Ooh.
I came prepared. So, unfortunately, on February 11th, 1983, just days before Valentine's Day, this tale would not be keeping it on brand with heart-shaped candy and a love story.
Oh, okay.
Uh-oh.
That's not really what I do.
No.
It quickly became a very real and bloody nightmare. But beyond the crime, as you will know at this point, there lies some mystery and a spooky story of local legend. I think, personally, my half of the episode might illuminate where some of these spooky stories originate.
Oh.
All right. So, February 11th, I'm going to take you back. Okay. Late that evening, just days before Valentine's Day, Bart Cochran sat in a booth at a local watering hole that appears to have fallen off the face of the interwebs.
Oh.
Very weird.
Did they close it? Well, I guess you don't know if you can't find it.
I really couldn't confirm. I think it has been closed, but like I literally couldn't find. Granted, this is before the internet really, is taking off, but I couldn't even find any like older references to it. I saw the bar named in a couple of places, but I was like, I couldn't find any information on it. It's a ghost bar.
There you go. Yeah.
Go try to find it.
So this story kicks off after a night of drinking around town at various other establishments earlier in the evening.
Was it just him or was he alone? I mean,
he wasn't.
Was it just him or was he alone?
Both.
Was he drinking with friends is what I was trying to ask.
So it sounds like he was in, I don't know exactly how many people he was with, but it sounds like he was in a group. So,
Okay.
And of course, you're bar hopping, imbibing maybe, a little something extra in preparation for the holiday. And as we all know, that always ends well.
Like,
cheers!
Mine's almost coming.
Yeah. I'll pass you the bottle. I don't want to run the risk of you running out.
Thanks.
That's a tragedy in the making, my friend. All right. Now, apparently, this man, Bart Cochran, was either seriously inebriated or just ready to wow the fuck out. Reportedly, at one point, he could be heard telling a woman at the bar that he would, and I quote, cut her head off.
No.
Why?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. And I feel like I'm having a hard time coming up with any justification for telling someone that you don't know that you're going to cut their head off. So kind of seems like, maybe neither here nor there, whatever the reason might be.
Oh, Bart.
Yeah, Bart. So just a few notes at this point. First of all, pretty gross. And it probably goes without saying, far more aggressive than any of us are comfortable with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And definitely not fodder for a romantic encounter in the days leading up to Valentine's Day.
No, if he went out looking for a hookup, but not like that.
I was like, was that supposed to be like some sort of like weird? I'm trying to make sense of it as well.
Yeah,
I don't think we're gonna get that.
I don't know.
No.
It wouldn't work on me.
No, me either.
No, because if you say that you're going to cut my head off, like I fully believe you. Yes. I am a Caitlin-shaped cloud of dust, a hole in the wall. No. Yeah. Okay. So for anyone who was looking for notes on what to write in their Valentines, maybe check out Pinterest or the Hallmark website.
Yes.
Just a thought.
Yeah. That's why there was no Pinterest back then. So
that's true.
Yeah, you know,
options were limited.
Yes. Okay. I see how this happened. Yeah, it makes a lot more sense now. Thankfully for that particular woman, it prompted another man that actually, according to witnesses, had come to the bar with Bart to actually escort him out of the bar.
Oh, wow.
Oh, good.
So he hears this, this encounter occurring and is like, yeah, Bart, I think maybe it's time for you to go.
Come on, buddy.
And he just kicks him out and goes back in and he's like, hey, honey, are you okay? I'm like, well played, gentlemen. Well played.
Yes.
Maybe that was like their wingman type.
Yeah. Yes.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I'm like,
where'd she go home that night?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't with Bart.
Follow-up questions.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, 21-year-old Dana Lynn DeMars was working what might have otherwise been described as an uneventful shift at the bar. She was well liked by the regular patrons. Despite a particularly deranged and unruly customer being thrust out of the drinkery previously, it doesn't seem that there was any lingering concern on her mind as she clocked out around 3 a.m.
Ooh, the witching hour.
Right? Yikes. In the early morning hours, she began her walk home. Those present at the bar throughout that evening stated that Bart and Dana had had very little contact that night in the bar. However, many believe that while walking home, Dana was viciously attacked by an exceedingly drunk and aggressive Bart Cochran right outside Candy Cane Park.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Exceedingly drunk, overly aggressive, always a winning combination. Not great. Not great, guys.
No.
So, in the early hours of February 12th, two men walking near the park spotted a pool of blood on the sidewalk. Like a couple of Hardy Boys, they followed the blood trail that led.
Nope.
Yeah, right? No, never do this. Never, ever, ever. Don't do this. Never, ever, ever.
Don't do it.
Is that clear enough?
Yeah.
Never, ever, ever. Don't ever do it. Never, never, never.
You see blood, you call the cops.
Yeah, you just.
Yes.
Yeah. So these Hardy Boys followed the trail of blood that led roughly to the center of the park.
The center of the park.
Oh.
Where they were feeling trapped.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Cassie loves it when I do the rock, the eyebrow.
that was amazing.
So that is where they found Dana, who had been, as you may recall, brutally attacked.
Oh.
Again, if you if you come to us for stories of romance, maybe check back around Valentine's Day and we'll see if we can cook something up, but I wouldn't count on it.
Probably
won't end well either.
No. Dana had apparently been bludgeoned with a hatchet.
Oh, Hatchet Park.
But being bludgeoned, I was like, bludgeoned with a
Yeah.
not a blunt object.
No, I don't like that.
Mm-mm.
When these two Good Samaritans found her, she was shockingly still breathing, despite the alleged attempt to decapitate her.
Oh.
So bludgeoned, but also definitely the sharp edge of the blade is actually being used on this poor woman.
How is she?
Oh my, yeah.
Yeah.
It blows me away. I don't get it. I don't know how she survived, even for those handful of hours. Just awful. Even though she was rushed to the hospital, she would die later that day due to her injuries from the attack. Because how the fuck was she still alive in the first place?
Yeah.
What?
For real.
So Bart Cochran was arrested and convicted soon after the attack. He was sentenced to life in prison where he was kept for a short time until an appeal overturned and dismissed the conviction.
No.
Well, there's a lot of yuck in this case. We're yucking a lot of stuff here. So the appeal overturned and dismissed his conviction due to shoddy police interrogation and lack of evidence.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's not great. So to this day, most are resolute in their stance that Cochran is guilty. However, no other suspects have been brought forth in the case. He's gone free. It's not great. We're not going to get into all
of Is he still alive?
I'm not sure if he is still alive now. He was released. I mean, it's really not been that long ago.
Oh boy.
So there's a lot to unpack as far as why his conviction was overturned. We're not going to get into it because we're trying to keep it, fun. It's Halloween.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we actually, we'll get it. I'll tell you guys. Just hold your horses, okay? Calm down.
What happened?
Yeah. So, as you can imagine, such a horrific crime can leave a lot of negative energy in a seemingly mundane place, even a place like a public park.
Named after a delicious treat.
Like Candy Park. Yeah. A debatably delicious treat. So visitors of Candy Cane Park have shared many spooky accounts. But of course, I always leave that to Cassie.
Yes. So you guys have heard the spooky, which now kind of makes sense. Why people were seeing maybe a woman and
It's interesting because definitely some of the stories that you told, I'm like, phone a friend.
The waitress, the lady who was served.
I know. I almost totally lost my shit. I'm like, she put a review of a park and was commenting about the.
Oh my God.
I wonder if she did that on purpose. Like I have so many questions.
Yes. We can't contact this woman.
So Paula. There's so many questions on this. There's so much. Okay. So we decided to tell this story because we thought more than likely people would be expecting half of this episode to be on different topics. But surprise, we did it. We picked everyone. Surprise. Yeah. So, and actually Cassie is the one that reminded me about this particular aspect of the case.
Ooh.
I know you know this
Is
part
this my
actually
favorite
better than
part?
I do. Yeah. Well, is it your favorite? It's
Yes.
my least favorite.
Well,
part,
it's
but
not my favorite, but interesting.
Tell them.
Interesting.
Tell them. It makes me so sad.
Oh, you
Tell
want me
'em.
to tell them?
Yeah, tell them.
Okay, so we found a picture of her headstone. The quote on it says, "With a cheery smile and a wave of the hand, she has wandered into an unknown land," which is very, very sweet. But
Is it? I feel like it was a really creepy saying.
it is I think it's kind of sweet, kind of. Yeah, I guess it's creepy because like an unknown land.
Yeah.
Like, but that's what death is. We don't fucking know. But someone changed, it appears, the word cheery to cherry. So with a cherry smile, like that is the way she was brutally murdered. And the fact that someone decided to change her headstone, it's disgusting.
I hate it.
I guess I don't 100% know for sure, but it definitely, I don't think that her family meant cherry smile. Like that is just disturbing.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
So yeah, we'll post the picture of the headstone and stuff so you guys can see it. And
I just think that's really interesting.
it is, but yeah.
So we're planning to at some point, I'm not going to make any promises about when or where, because I do have a lot of cases that I've already recorded or that I already have in the works. So, but I want to plan to look into the case further for future. And if we can develop more information and findings about the investigation and court proceedings, which we definitely can. There's so much, not necessarily a ton out there in terms of like resources, I would say, but there's the little bit that you're able to find. There's a lot to unpack there.
Ooh, so there's more. There's like, we're gonna do like a deep dive on this case, like a full.
Yeah, kind of, because the way that I look at it, and I don't want to go into it because it totally just gives away everything that I would want to talk about in the in the episode, but it seems like he was freed because of a series of air quotes procedural errors.
Ooh, that's never good.
No.
It's really not. None of these are good procedural errors. If there was such a thing, these are not those. Don't quote me on details because I'm not really gonna give you any details. So suck it. But that was kind of at least the overwhelming consensus based on my research so far. I'll iron out a bunch of the details and information obviously for a future episode or we'll see, or at least an update, because I think that people will definitely be interested in hearing a little bit more about this, because I guess we'll talk about the tarot here in a second, but I feel like it's
the tarot.
Yeah, having so much of this that I feel like it's not really what it seems. Okay. You think like, okay, this guy says to a woman in a bar, I'm going to cut your head off. And then later, it seems like he actually tried to cut someone's head off.
Yeah.
There's a lot. I don't think it's that simple. So,
murder never is.
No. So I'm going to encourage all of the creepy people to reach out to us and let us know what they're curious about, weigh in as to whether or not they want to hear more about the case. We know how Cassie votes. Make sure you just weigh in and let us know. You can email us or get at us on the socials. Honestly, this case is it's truly wild, but we're left with the formidable feeling that this just isn't the end of the story. Because there's nothing spookier than the real killer roaming free.
I hate it. I have like a really disgusting thought. What if the killer is the one who vandalized the gravestone?
Oh.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. I have literal goosebumps. Like,
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Are
I
you
need
feeling
answers.
there, Emily?
I need answers.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we need answers.
Let's see what the tarot card has to say. Or are
Yeah.
you ready for that yet?
Yeah,
Sorry.
I am.
Just
No, I'm
what's
just
tarot card?
Yeah. She's like, moving on. Shut up.
Because I think I remember what it said, and now I'm like
Yeah.
super creeped out.
Uh-huh. Okay, well, the last thing I'll say then on the case itself is just watch your backs in the Grande, creepy people.
Oh, watch your backs.
Yeah. Okay, so we for the tarot, it was the 10 of Needles in the Nightmare Before Christmas deck. And it said, indicate something is coming to a painful ending. That's the upright. We drew it in the reversed. And so the interpretation on that says, when reversed, the painful ending indicated by the upright 10 of Needles is stalled.
It was stalled.
Yeah.
Like letting him out and not knowing if he was actual murder or not.
Yep.
Oh my God.
I haven't done enough research to say for sure, but I think this is kind of like the Avery case. You're like, there's just no way. There's just no way. And even if he was guilty, now they have picked up the investigation to a level where it's like, I'm sorry, you have to let him go because you guys, you got him the wrong way.
Yeah.
Wow.
It says, don't put off the inevitable. Dragging it out will only make this harder. Make a clean break and move on to new, better things.
So like,
that's the part that relates to your case because I feel like
Yes.
I think she's hanging out there.
Yeah. She's
probably
stuck.
waiting for a freaking murderer to be caught.
Yeah.
Apparently she needs to make a clean break. Oh God. I hate that that's the card that we drew and that's the wording the make a clean break. You guys.
That makes me uncomfortable.
She was nearly decapitated.
Yeah.
I hate that.
I don't like it.
Oh, well, so I want to be able to talk more about the case for future.
Yeah.
We'll see how this all shakes out, but
it's just too much to fit into like a half.
It really
is.
It really is. Yeah. And I don't know. It's kind of all or nothing with me. It's it's like either I read all 300 pages and write you 25 pages of notes about it or nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Do you have any like spooky or ghosty or even like true crime personal stories?
Not really so much. I grew up in a Christian household. And so I have one side, my mom's side of the family is very religious. And then my dad's side of the family, there is like a lot of religious people. Like my great grandma was very religious, but I would go to my dad's side of the family to my grandma, and she had like the tabloids with like conspiracy theories and aliens and all that kind of stuff. And like she would read horoscopes. And so like I always was like curious and interested from that. But and then I love to hear a good ghost story. Like I know a few from like my town. One is there was a farmer. They lived out on a very well-known road that has like a ton of well-established farms from years and years and years and generations and generations. And there was this one family that started to have some troubles, and they ended up, the whole family just disappeared. They have no idea what happened. And the next owners started to report that there were some things happening, some weird things. So definitely, I can't remember the specifics of what was happening, but they definitely believe it's haunted. And then it got purchased and is now like the biggest pumpkin patch place. I actually was just there like 2 days ago. They have a scary corn maze there that like happens at night and people jump out and scare you.
Nice.
Yeah, I was just there this week with my daughter.
Legend.
There's a kindergarten. Yeah.
What's it called?
It's now called the Patch. It used to be called Huffman Farms in Ellensburg. So anyways, you can look it up online. It's
I will.
It's pretty interesting. It's been a while since I looked at it.
This is our Halloween theme.
Right. Yeah. And then there was the one episode that I have done on my hometown is the Vincent lynchings, which took place in the late 1800s. And there was a little bit of a ghost aspect to that as well. After it had happened, it was a father and son. They'd done some really bad things, and our county was really poor. And so the citizens were worried that they weren't going to get justice. And so they just decided to take it into their own hands and lynched the father and the son. And then,
oh my gosh,
yeah. And like now it's where a grocery store is. Like, so it's fun. Like when it's your own town, because you're like, oh yeah, that's where a grocery outlet is.
yeah.
But there were people seeing a ghost there, like an apparition, and like the one police officer in town was able to track it down and find out that it was just a kid that was like wearing a coat over his head and like walking. Yeah, so that one was debunked.
Darn it.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
And
my god.
I know we're a college town, so we have Central Washington University, and there is a dorm room that's supposedly super haunted.
Ooh.
So yeah.
Nice. Are you gonna do a story on that one?
I might, yeah. I have a couple ideas. There's another one where there's this house, and actually I know the people that live in it. I went to school with their kids. Her name was Mamie Norris, and she was trying to adopt a foster child, and he was a teenager, and she ended up falling in love with him. Ooh. And she ended up killing him because he wouldn't be with her. Obviously, it was weird. So he ended up dead, and he was like 17 years old. It's so sad. There's a picture of him on the high school football team in 1908.
Oh,
there's like I went and talked. We have a really awesome historical museum in town, and so I went and talked with her name's Sadie there, and she was telling me all about this, and she had pictures of this guy, and she disappeared off the face of the earth. Like she escaped prison and is gone, and they never found her again. So
holy shit, that's
wow,
crazy.
Yeah, it was
wild.
I know. So I do want to do one on Mamie, and I was gonna reach out to those people and just say, hey, have you had any weird experiences in your house? I've heard there's been weird experiences at that house. So
yeah, that's so exciting. Oh, I can't wait to hear that.
Yes.
Definitely a better idea than doing an episode about my haunted apartment.
Yeah. We should.
Yeah, but I've never personally had any experiences, and I don't know if it's because I'm pretty skeptical. I don't know. Have you guys?
Too. Yeah, I've been dealing with some stuff ever since I moved in here with Chris in the last few months, and it's been interesting. Mm-hmm. Cassie and I were doing Zoom, the two of us, recently, and right before we were set to record, I'd come home, I let my dogs out. I'd gotten in the shower because I was like, whatever, we're not doing video. I'm just gonna wash my face, just be like wet hair, sweatshirt, like. And I heard a noise. We have pretty noisy upstairs neighbors. So at first I didn't really think anything of it. And I'm, hearing noises and stuff. And I'm in the shower, and I had just rinsed out like my conditioner. I was like almost ready to get out of the shower anyways. And I hear distinctly our laundry room door moving. And it's one of those like folding, like kind of accordion style doors. Uh-huh. And it actually sticks. So you actively have to be trying to move it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I didn't hear Chris come through the front door. My dogs aren't barking. So it's not him, but I'm really freaked out. And I literally what the fucked out of the shower. I literally jumped out of the shower, grabbed a towel, and like holding it like this, and was like, what the fuck? In my hallway. Meanwhile, then when Chris gets home, I'm like, sorry, the hallway's, wet. And he's like, what? He's like, the bathroom's always wet after you shower. And I'm like, thanks, babe. I was like, no, you should have seen like the whole hallway was wet because I literally jumped out of the shower.
Oh my gosh.
Here's the weirdest part. He hadn't gotten home by the time that we started talking, and then he came home like midway through. He didn't get my text message because I texted him right after this happened, and I was talking to you too.
Yeah.
I texted him and I said, okay, I think I'm ready to call in a priest. He didn't get it. He didn't get it until he was already home.
What?
Wow.
Ooh, that's kind of creepy. They didn't like the priest thing.
Well, and here's the thing. I didn't even tell you this, but the way that I had the door positioned, he was like, well, did one of the dogs maybe bump it? And like they accidentally closed it. And I was like, well, I had a rug that I had just taken out of the wash that was kind of blocking it. So you would like have to be forceful about trying to close it.
Yeah.
And my dogs are really small.
Yeah, little wiener dogs.
But when I what the fucked out of the shower, they were also out in the living room.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just chilling out there.
Yeah.
I mean, so he immediately he goes over to the slider to make sure that that was locked. And I was like, oh, trust me, I already checked the doors for locked.
Did you bring a weapon with you?
Yeah, that's what I was
in
wondering.
the shower.
At least some hairspray.
Yeah.
Try to blind him.
Grab something next time, man.
Yeah.
Just in case it was going to go the homicide route instead of the haunts route.
My dog.
You're just going to snap him with your towel.
Yeah. There you go.
I guess. I didn't really have a plan. I just panicked because I was like, this was the sound that like would be like someone was in my apartment, but I know that there's no one else here.
Yeah.
Do you know like the history of your apartment? Has anything ever gone down there?
Not that we're aware of, but where we live, a lot of like a lot of the area, like Portland Metro, there's a lot of areas where there are there were Indian tribes that lived on this land.
Mm-hmm.
Probably
all of it.
Yeah, like literally
not
everywhere.
Yeah.
Who even knows?
I want you to look into it, or maybe I will for you.
Honestly, we actually talked to a ghost hunter, for a different episode, and he told me that I might want to start taking an active approach with it. So I have done that before, where I address it and I tell it when it does stuff that's out of line, and I don't think that it enjoyed that I did such a thorough saging the night before.
Oh, okay.
So, and apparently it wasn't on board with the priest either. So we'll see.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a friendly spirit.
So far, it's been relatively benign, but yeah. Then there's been not benign stuff, and this was one of those times.
Oof, icky.
Yeah.
So we'll see. If it gets worse, we're gonna move.
All right. Well, should we wrap up? Should we probably want to join our have a creepy ass day outro?
Yes. Oh yeah. Yay. Okay. All right. We have a really hard time doing this with just the two of us.
And then add me in on Zoom.
No, I'm just letting you know. Like you might have to be prepared to do this a couple of times.
We've been getting really good at it though.
We have,
to be fair.
We have. Yeah. If you couldn't tell though, sometimes
yeah.
That's us. That pretty much says it all, right?
Okay.
Have a creepy ass day. See you next Tuesday.
Thank you so much, Emily. That was so much fun.
Yes, thank you guys. That was so fun. Thank you for doing a haunt and a homicide.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
So, for all of you that are listening, if you have any true crime or paranormal stories that you want us to share, maybe with the whole Pacific Northwest.
Yes, we would love to read them on the pod.
Yes, we will read them out loud.
Not just in our heads.
Yes. They don't have to be from the Pacific Northwest if you would like to share. Email us at pnwhauntsandhomicides@gmail.com. It's all spelled out, no special characters. Super duper easy peasy.
Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Same thing as the email at pnwhauntsandhomicides, all spelled out, no special characters. Please also rate and review us on whatever platform you're listening to, and check out our stories on social media because our meme game is hot.
Agreed.
And if you agree, like Caitlin, you can also find us on Patreon and support the show.
Bitchin'.
Should we add a see you next Tuesday?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
See you next
Tuesday.
I messed it up. Sorry.
It's so hard.
Yes.
I am.
This is why
always the
I'm
person-
solo.
Yeah. No, I'm always the person messing it up. I just look at Cassie like every time we record, and I'm so sorry.
It's never.
I'm so
Are you kidding me?
sorry.
I mess up constantly. I mess up on my first sentence every time of every case. I swear.
Because you haven't gotten into a role yet.
Yeah.
Rude.